Survivors the night the Titanic sank. What's an adventure? Will Tate looked out to sea and grinned. Will and his family were sailing to America on the Titanic. The Titanic is the biggest ship in the world, he told his little sister Lucy. I know, said Lucy. I wish we could go upstairs. I've heard it's like a palace. The night Will lay in his bunk. He listened to the hum of the ship engines. Soon we'll have a new life in America, Mother whispered in the darkness. Will smiled, sleepy. Suddenly, Will felt a hard thump and then a scrap. A against the side of the ship. He nearly fell out of his bunk. Will and his father left their cabin to see what had happened. On the third class deck, they saw passengers playing football with chunk of ice. No one seemed worried. Will kicked a chunk of ice. School cheered father. Then a ship's steward interrupted the game. The ship had hit an iceberg, he said. There is no danger, but everyone should wear a life jacket. Will and his father hurried back to their cabin. What's this for? Lucy asked as she put on her life jacket. It will help you to float in the water. Will told Lucy. Just in case, Will watched as a bright light shot up into the starry night sky. It burst with a loud bang, like a firework. That's an emergency flare, said father. And there's a lifeboat. The ship must be in trouble. The lifeboat are on the top deck, said father. Hurry, called mother. The Tates ran through the ship. It was like a huge maid. Water gushed into the hallways. The floor sloped and Will couldn't walk straight. With one hand, he gripped a wooden railing. With the other hand, he pulled Lucy up the grand staircase. At last, they reached the top deck. The ship is sinking, cried a frightened passenger. But the Titanic is unsinkable. Someone said climbingly. The Tates hurried through the lifeboats. They weren't take chances. Women and children in the lifeboat first, called a ship's officer. I won't live without you, Tom, said Mother. Go on, Jean, Father said. Take care of the children. Mother kissed him and climbed into the lifeboat with Lucy. Now it was Will's turn. Get in the lifeboat, Will called Mother. Come on, Lucy, he told. Will didn't know what to do. Finally, he shook his head. I'm staying on the ship with Father, he said. Will, you must go with your mother and sister, said Father, but it was too late. Will and his father watched as the ship's officer lowered the lifeboat into the sea. Soon there were only a few lifeboats left. The frightened crowd pushed and shoved to climb into the boats. Will felt Father's hand on his shoulder suddenly. Father pushed him through the crowd and into the lifeboat. The boat the boat swayed as a ship's officer lowered it into the sea. Will looked up at the Titanic. Father was waving to him from the deck. As Will helped to lower the lifeboat always from the Titanic, he watched the great ship sink. It tipped forward with a crash. People clung to the railings. Others jumped from the decks. I've got to save my father, called Will. He wanted to load deck to the sinking ship, but the other people in the lifeboat stopped him. It's too dangerous, they cried. Finally, the Titanic disappeared under the water. Somehow, Will felt sure his father would be safe. Some other lifeboats drifted nearby. Using a rope, they linked up with Will's boat. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. Will, Will, is that you? Mother was helping to lower one of the other boats. Carefully, Will climbed into her boat and herded next to Lucy.